strike quick but creep slow. The competition is absent the moment that we show. Countdown from 3, go, press X to reload. Yet they still try to topple the kingdom that we own. Outnumbered but outgunning, we're fearless and crowd stunning. Never an error on record, there's no one to protect you. And we would still be right here if all the money was burned. But we stay bumping in your ear cause the money was earned. Yo, you can find us climbing, setting the bar. Or you can find us red carpet when we hitting it hard. Cause the truth is you can find us wherever you are. Just look up, we're flying high with the stars. Cause tonight is the night. Bright lights, high crowd, yeah we keep the throw down. Everybody get loud. Tonight is the night. A-list, can't miss when we burn it to the ground. Everybody get down. Tonight is the night. We stay grinding while our band can't rise. We stay climbing, now we on top. It's not something you get, it's just something we got. Cause I don't know if you know we play it or not. Tonight, lights flashing when we step in the place. And you can feel the raw excitement from the look on their face. It's like the prize right in front of my eyes can take. And the sky's the limit, got no time to waste. Tonight's the big go, strike quick but creep slow. The competition is absent the moment that we show. Countdown from 3, go, press X to reload. Yet they still try to topple the kingdom that we own. Outnumbered but outgunning, we're fearless and crowd stunning. Never an error on record, there's no one to protect you. And we would still be right here if all the money was burned. But we stay bumping in your ear cause the money was earned. Yo, you can find us climbing, setting the bar. Or you can find us red carpet when we hitting it hard. Cause the truth is you can find us wherever you are. Just look up, we're flying high with the stars. Cause tonight is the night. Bright lights, high crowd, yeah we keep the throw down. Everybody get loud. Tonight is the night. A-list, can't miss when we burn it to the ground. Everybody get down. Tonight is the night. We stay grinding while our band can't rise. We stay climbing, now we on top. It's not something you get, it's just something we got. Cause I don't know if you know we play it or not. Tonight, lights flashing when we step in the place. And you can feel the raw excitement from the look on their face. It's like the prize right in front of my eyes can take. And the sky's the limit, got no time to waste. Tonight's the big go, strike quick but creep slow. The competition is absent the moment that we show. Countdown from 3, go, press X to reload. Yet they still try to topple the kingdom that we own. Outnumbered but outgunning, we're fearless and crowd stunning. Never an error on record, there's no one to protect you. And we would still be right here if all the money was burned. But we stay bumping in your ear cause the money was earned. Yo, you can find us climbing, setting the bar. Or you can find us red carpet when we hitting it hard. Cause the truth is you can find us wherever you are. Just look up, we're flying high with the stars. Cause tonight is the night. Bright lights, high crowd, yeah we keep the throw down. Everybody get loud. Tonight is the night. A-list, can't miss when we burn it to the ground. Everybody get down. Tonight is the night. We stay grinding while our band can't rise. We stay climbing, now we on top. It's not something you get, it's just something we got. Cause I don't know if you know we play it or not. Tonight.
If you smell what the rock is cooking.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a fairly special edition and final edition of the WWE Wrestling Talk Show with Wwe Look Jones and
Sean Brandy Smith, without a tag team title.
This is, like I said, a special edition, a final edition of the year 2016, so we will look back at the year to see what moments stand out for all the right reasons, all the wrong reasons, the good stuff, the bad stuff, and all the stuff in between.
Yeah, so we'll start off with our favourite debuts.
Starting with the Royal Rumble.
Of this year.
Now, we all know the story going into this Royal Rumble was literally 1 versus all, because for the first time in Royal Rumble history, the WWE Championship would be defended in the Royal Rumble match. This is not to be confused with the 1992 Royal Rumble match, where the WWE Championship was decided in the Royal Rumble match, because this time there was actually a champion going into the match, and that was Roman Reigns.
Yes, it was. And let's just say, odds were definitely not in Roman Reigns' favour that night.
Hence the reason 1 versus all. And this quite possibly received one of the biggest reactions that I can remember happening, and that was when the number 3 entrant was introduced to the crowd, and that was the phenomenal AJ Styles, making his first appearance for WWE.
Yes, in that year. But the only thing that was wrong with it, the camera stayed on Roman Reigns' face until after AJ came out.
No,
which
it
kind of
did.
took away the shine of it.
Oh, not quite, because the camera stayed on Roman Reigns' face when the music started and turns to the Tritron just as the words "I am phenomenal" came out. Except I remember watching the Royal Rumble match, and when the music first went up, I was like, who the heck is this?
And then as soon as you saw AJ, it went into...
You're kidding me.
And also, to make matters even better, there was even a YouTuber in attendance in the audience to witness that debut.
Are we talking about Grim?
Yes, we are. He was in the audience when that debut happened.
He's been at the audience for quite a few. It's just bad he was in the audience later on in the year, and we will get to that.
Yeah, so I think that's number 1. Favourite debut number 2?
Well, debuts, I had to say. One of my other favourite debuts, and we skip ahead slightly, is probably at the Battleground pay-per-view
I think I know where this is going.
in June or July, whichever month it was, when Sasha Banks had a mystery tag team partner in a tag team match against Charlotte and Dana Brooke.
And rumours were flying out like crazy who her partner could be.
But the pop of the crowd, and I think everyone, was absolutely well just when the lovable soul of Bayley was introduced.
To the mainstream roster.
I would argue that they did, well, it's not an argument, I think that they did this to test how the main roster crowd would react to Bayley, because it was only a few months after this when Bayley would debut on Monday Night Raw.
And I think I'm going to go with my third debut before we end up this list into the moments we would like to forget about 2016. My other debut would be the debut of American Alpha.
Just after the draft.
Yes. Because in my opinion, they are a tag team that works very well in both NXT and the main division.
Yes, which I agree is not really something you see that often, because they're there are certain examples, the Ascension being one of them,
Ordinance being the second.
that when they get to the main roster from NXT, they just don't work.
But American Alpha works.
Partly because they're probably so much similar to the world's greatest tag team. And if WWE were ever able to negotiate some kind of deal with Kurt Angle to come back, then they could work together quite well in Team Angle 2.0.
Now it's two moments we would like to forget, and I think we'll include heel turns on this list as well.
Well, one of the moments I would like to forget about this year, not entirely, but in certain moments, were WrestleMania, or shall I say Injured Mania.
Oh yes, and where WWE had to mute the crowd because the boos for Roman Reigns were so loud.
And not just that. Oh, but before we get to this as well, this is going to include things we liked about WrestleMania.
Oh yes.
So I want to say one of my better moments of WrestleMania this year being the return of Shane McMahon.
Oh yes, and his match with the Undertaker.
And that was quite possibly the best match to come out of this year's WrestleMania.
I would say my favourite moment of that WrestleMania was you making your return and saying, we're not just going to have a WrestleMania match. We're not just going to have a WrestleMania match. No, we're not going to have a WrestleMania fight. We're going to have a WrestleMania match. Then you taking care of Eric Rowan in like 6 seconds.
The fastest match in WrestleMania history.
And then just when you thought you were going to get surrounded by the Wyatt family, Cena out of nowhere makes the save.
Next to a roar of the crowd doing John Cena sucks. Which I'll admit, I think he likes it.
Yes,
The way he reacts when people chant it, I think he likes it.
Yes, rather than the opposite way around. But a moment I would like to forget is after WrestleMania. It's when superstars turn heel for the most stupid reason. Like Carmella, for example.
Oh, well,
In my opinion, a heel Carmella does not work.
you mean, and it's crazy as well because the night before was SummerSlam, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
And Nikki Bella returned from injury on the heel team. Suddenly we get to SmackDown and sees her face being interviewed when Carmella just attacks her for no reason whatsoever.
And then she explains later on that and in Carmella's words, Carmella reckoned she was being upstaged by Nikki Bella, and I was like, really?
See, I have no problem with heel and face turns if there's a general story behind it.
Which there wasn't, was there?
And it actually makes sense. This one wasn't.
And another moment we would like to forget about 2016 would be, well, I'm trying to think. Well, it has to go to me for turning heel out of nowhere. Hits the pun.
Well, you mean when Randy Orton turned heel and joined the Wyatt family?
Yes. And obviously I'm hinting that because of what happened on SmackDown. I'm not going to embarrass myself anymore.
Now, other moments, we switched now to moments that we enjoyed and moments which gave us the thrill, and this will start with The Undertaker versus Shane McMahon at WrestleMania, which was contested inside Hell in a Cell.
What a match this was. This was definitely most the match of the night, except for a really bad joke by Michael Cole, a really bad pun. For the love of mankind.
Well, it wasn't exactly a pun. You could call it a pun. But what it's referring to is, towards the end of the match, when both Shane McMahon and The Undertaker were pretty much out of it, Shane McMahon would tackle The Undertaker, breaking through the wall of the cell.
Positioning on the announce table,
And
climb the cell.
Climbing to the top of the cell and attempting to deliver a Shane McMahon elbow from the top of the cell.
However, The Undertaker moved out of the way.
And as Shane McMahon was on his way down, we heard Michael Cole say, "For the love of mankind."
But the match as a whole was very good, although the stipulation did say if Shane lost, he would not be running Monday Night Raw. But then what happened the next night? He ran Monday Night Raw anyway.
And for the past few, and for the following few weeks, he would run Monday Night Raw. Also, at WrestleMania, we had a World Championship match between Triple H and Roman Reigns. Triple H had won the Royal Rumble match to become a 14-time World Heavyweight Champion.
And breaking a record in the progress.
Not quite breaking a record. That's Cena's job to do.
Oh, yes.
And then, following on from this, there was a triple threat match set to take place at Fastlane between Dean Ambrose, Roman Reigns, and Brock Lesnar.
What a match this was. What more can be said about it?
Not a lot. But the eventual winner of this match was Roman Reigns. And let's just say the large number of fan base was not happy leading into this match, because it was a virtual guarantee that Roman Reigns would be winning the championship at WrestleMania.
In which he did. And the boos was so loud inside the record-breaking WrestleMania arena that WWE had to mute the crowd because it was so loud.
I think the problem was that the WWE were pushing Roman Reigns too fast, too soon.
Yes, because he was related to Dwayne Johnson.
Another thing that we saw, another disappointment that we did see at WrestleMania, was the match between Brock Lesnar and Dean Ambrose.
Yes. That was a disappointment. I was expecting a lot more from this match.
During the build, we had Dean Ambrose interact with Mick Foley,
Terry Funk.
or Cherry Funk, or Chainsaw Charlie, and we literally saw Ambrose with a chainsaw.
And we were expecting the chainsaw to be used as a weapon.
Now, the annoying thing was probably the fact that Brock Lesnar, because he works part-time, has the feeling that he can do what he wants when he wants. I will give the guy credit in that when he wants to work a match properly, he can and will do it.
But in this match, he didn't feel like he did it.
In this match, I think Dean Ambrose tried to pitch idea after idea, but he just was getting no response.
No, in other words, a no-sell.
It was a relatively quick match as well, which ended with an F5 onto a bunch of steel chairs.
Ouch!
Another high point, though, of WrestleMania, well I enjoyed, was the 6-man tag team match between the League of Nations and the New Day, or should we say the Saiyans, because they came into WrestleMania dressed up as characters from Dragon Ball Z.
But to cut this story short, the winners of the match were the League of Nations. But what I loved
Yes,
about
because
it,
this didn't make sense, did it? Because we all knew that Wade Barrett was on his way out of the WWE.
He was.
So what do they do? Well, after the match, Wade Barrett gets on the microphone, starts running his mouth about the fact that there's nobody who can go toe-to-toe with him. So, out comes, well, first of all, Shawn Michaels' music hits, and he's just come out. He comes out with his gear on, so you know he's ready for a fight. Next, we had Mick Foley come out, who was dressed as Cactus Jack.
And then we had Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yes, it was 3-on-4, but it wasn't 3-for-4 for long, because the New Day pulled Barrett out of the ring, leaving Del Rio, Rusev, and Dewey Sheamus in the ring. Each of them suffered a super kick, or shooting music, a stunner, and the mandible claw, before Wade Barrett was thrown back into the ring and given his farewell from the WWE by a screeching music, the mandible claw, and the Stone Cold Stunner.
And then the New Day decided to have a little dance with the legends, and Stone Cold was dancing very remarkably until Stone Cold said, "You know what, Xavier Woods, have a stunner on me."
And then, quite possibly, there's 2 more moments that stand out, 3 moments that stand out at WrestleMania, and that was the final match of Brie Bella,
Oh yes.
which took place in the pre-show. Then we had the Intercontinental Championship ladder match, when the unlikeliest of people, Zack Ryder, would win. Unfortunately, he would lose it the following night on Raw.
Unfortunately, yes.
And then we also saw the return of the Women's Championship.
Yes, we did. For the first time in God knows how long.
For the first time since he was unified with the Divas Championship, because the women of the WWE were no longer going to be referred to as Divas.
Yes. And the match, and also another highlight moment for me, has to be when they introduced, well, the brand split. But then again, the brand split has been a bit of a headache for us both in terms of recording programs, that's for sure.
Yes, due to ratings, I think it was down mostly to ratings.
They split the brands up.
Yes, Raw would stay where it was. SmackDown would move to Tuesday nights, which it did. Which it did following Money in the Bank.
Yes.
No, following Battleground. No, it was Money in the Bank.
Yes.
Because during this time we saw general managers coming back. One being Teddy Long, The other one being People Power in John Laurinaitis.
God help us all.
Did we briefly see Vicky Guerrero again?
Yes, we did.
But ultimately, it was decided by Vince McMahon himself,
Who decided to put Shane and Stephanie in charge of the brands.
Stephanie McMahon would be in charge of Raw, and she would have to name a general manager, and Shane McMahon would have to do the same for SmackDown. Now, the general manager of Raw was named as Mick Foley.
And general manager of SmackDown was Daniel Bryan. In one of the loudest pops I've ever heard in my life.
Well, he had to retire a little too soon for everyone's liking.
Because of a certain neck injury.
But this also left a big problem for these exclusive brands, because we were left with questions as to where each championship would go to.
Yeah, so the WWE World title
Wait,
went... Oh yeah, wait.
because this is another moment which stood out, and it happened at the Money in the Bank pay-per-view, which came at us from Las Vegas,
Oh yes.
in which all three members of the Shield would hold the WWE Championship on the same night.
Oh yes.
Because Roman Reigns would go into Money in the Bank to defend against the returning Seth Rollins, who had returned the month earlier to win a massive pop, although he remained in his heel gimmick for a while.
Yes.
Seth Rollins would win that match. However, Dean Ambrose, who won the Money in the Bank match earlier in the night, would cash in some sweet and irony revenge on Seth Rollins.
To become WWE champion for the first time in his career.
This made the WWE Championship, this made the WWE Championship not quite exclusive to SmackDown yet, because we had to go into a triple threat match at Battleground between Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, who were both drafted to Raw, and Dean Ambrose, who was on SmackDown. Dean Ambrose would retain the championship, making the WWE Championship exclusive to SmackDown. And let's just say that certain individuals were not happy about that. So following this, the WWE Championship was renamed the WWE World Championship for a while, whilst Raw introduced a red version of this championship, which would be called the WWE Universal Championship, and was decided at SummerSlam in a match between Seth Rollins and Finn Balor. The downside to this match, although it was a good match, is that following Finn Balor's victory, he was forced to vacate the championship due to suffering a legitimate shoulder injury during the match, in the same move which effectively Seth Rollins used to end the career of WWE Hall of Famer Sting.
So, longer Finn Balor reign, but hopefully in 2017, when Finn Balor comes back from his shoulder injury, we'll hopefully get the opportunity to see the Demon King reign top of Raw.
So the following week, on an episode of Raw, there was a fatal 4-way elimination match involving Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and Big Cass.
Yes, to determine the number one contender.
Well, did I say?
Shall we say?
Yeah. Kevin Owens.
Shall we
It would decide. This would decide who the Universal Champion would be. Big Cass was eliminated almost first,
Yes.
but then something absolutely amazing happened.
Triple H returned.
Yes, for the first time since losing the WWE Championship at WrestleMania, Triple H would return, pedigree Roman Reigns on the outside, get him back into the ring.
Yes.
The Seth Rollins would pin him, and just when it looked like
We were going to see a authority reuniting.
Triple H would turn on Seth Rollins, pedigree him, Kevin Owens would crawl into the cover,
While looking shell-shocked.
get the 1, 2, 3, and Triple H would grab the Universal Championship and literally hand it to Kevin Owens. This action is ultimately what caused Seth Rollins to turn face, and is still causing problems to this day because Seth Rollins keeps calling out Triple H on episodes of Raw, which virtually guarantees a match between the two to take place at WrestleMania.
Yes. Hopefully we'll see that.
Now, as we jump to certain other things which took place at Backlash, which was reintroduced as a SmackDown exclusive pay-per-view, Dean Ambrose would lose the WWE Championship to AJ Styles, and this was only the third time that I can remember that a superstar has been awarded or given the chance to become the WWE Champion within a couple of months or a year of his debut.
Which was a bit of a bold decision.
Bold decision. They did it with Kurt Angle in the 2000s.
They did it with...
Brock Lesnar in 2002.
They also did it with...
Apart from those two, it's the only time that I can think of it happening. Unless you count that The Undertaker debuted at the 1990 Survivor Series and won the WWE Championship at the 1991 Survivor Series.
Correct.
But this would spawn several matches between Dean Ambrose and AJ Styles for the WWE Championship. It would also spawn an interesting character by the name of James Ellsworth to appear,
Oh, yes.
who has beaten AJ Styles on several occasions and earned himself a championship match, which he would lose in about record time.
Yes. Which was a bit of a waste of airtime, to be honest.
However, in my opinion, arguably the greatest feud of 2016 is the feud that The Miz and Dolph Ziggler have had over the Intercontinental Championship.
And that's been rivalry
Time and time again, starting at SummerSlam, was it?
I think it was.
We would have The Miz versus Dolph Ziggler in Intercontinental Championship matches. Again and again, Dolph Ziggler would lose.
Until one particular night.
Until No Mercy, when it was title versus Kalia.
Why does that sound familiar?
Because I believe it's what happened. When did that happen?
We'll do some more digging off microphone. We'll do some more digging.
I know they've done Kalia versus Streak at WrestleMania with The Undertaker.
It just sounds familiar to me. But at No Mercy, Dolph Ziggler had to put up with interference from the Spirit Squad.
Yes, remember those people.
Just to provide was
We had the
match of the night.
We had Spirit Squad. We had being sprayed in the eyes. And yeah, we had Ziggler losing his boot. But he was still able to hit a super kick and win the Intercontinental Championship. The only downside to that
was
that 5 weeks later, on the 900th episode of SmackDown, he would lose the championship back to The Miz. Now we will go into what was arguably the standout moment of 2016 when we talk about Survivor Series.
oh yes.
And this was featured as the Beast Fantasy 4 Come Real, when the Beast incarnate Brock Lesnar
Oh god.
would go one-on-one with the returning Goldberg.
Let's just say this match has been, how many years in the making?
About 12, because these two went at each other at WrestleMania 20. But no one really cared, because it was common knowledge that both individuals would be leaving the company following the match. Goldberg returned to feature as the pre-order bonus and a playable character in WWE 2K17, the video game.
Yes.
And in an interview, he would say that if he came back to the ring, he would owe Brock Lesnar a rematch. So, this resulted to Brock Lesnar challenging Goldberg to a fight. Goldberg survived, accepted, and things went from there. This was given as the main event to Survivor Series, although I'm not exactly quite sure why, because if you blinked your eyes, you might have missed what happened.
Because it was basically bell ring, shove the corner, Goldberg shoved Lesnar down, spear again, jackhammer, 1, 2, 3.
1 minute and 25 seconds.
Wow.
Following this match, both superstars would announce their participation in the 2017 Royal Rumble match.
Which is coming up very soon.
In just about 4 or 5 weeks. So, these are our memories of 2016 in WWE. Wasn't the best year. Well, it didn't start off the best year because of so many stars being out injured, but it turned out alright.
It did.
Let's see what 2017 brings us, as we start off with an NXT TakeOver event in San Antonio and the Royal Rumble in San Antonio.
Until then, he's been
Lisa Rock Jones, and he's been
Sean Randy Smith.
And we wish you a happy new year wherever you may be during that time.
Yes, happy new year, and we'll see you in 2017.